Hey everyone, welcome back to the Jenuine Chats Series. I'm your host, Jen, and this is my lovely co-host,
Sam.
So we are doing a special segment called On Wednesdays We Wear Pink. We'll be doing this once a month where we be kind and rewind.
So let us take you back. We're going to reminisce, and we're probably going to dig up some stuff that you forgot all about in those time capsules that you have somewhere.
That you buried in school if you're like Sam and I. Sam and I, just to give you a little bit of context, we were born in 1987. So we grew up in the 90s and the early 2000s, and we are such big 90s, 2000s fangirls, nerds.
Yeah, it'll stay forever.
Forever and ever. So before we get started, though, I wanted to let you know that you're like really pretty. So
I do love this sign, though.
Is this not the best? Like,
It's the best.
come on now. I mean,
like
this is
goes
quoting,
perfectly.
yeah, Mean Girls. I mean, come on. If you grew up in the early 2000s, I mean, we were teenagers at that time.
Clueless.
I love Clueless.
I could still watch Clueless to this day.
I watch it all the time. Like, you make me want to watch it. I haven't watched it in several months. I think I might.
watched The Benchwarmers the other day from 2005. That was
The Benchwarmers.
me and my cousin Brandon. We both ditched school that day. We were at I was at my Aunt Kim's house, and we literally watched that movie all day. And she was baking, and we like ate all of her food, and it was great. I want to start off by telling everybody about a rumor that's been going around. That,
Hashtag spilling the tea.
yeah,
Well, mine is coffee, but that's okay.
So there's one thing that you should know about me. I am still, to this day, at 36 years old, a huge Backstreet Boys fan.
More like a nerd.
Oh, yeah. I go to every concert. Me and my older sister, that's something that we've always done. We went last year. We went with one of our other best friends and our niece. Oh, God, it was so much fun.
It was so much fun. But first of all, we have to talk about our ensemble because we were totally in 90's girl get up.
Oh, yes.
It was fun.
Insert photo.
So we had, yes, I will insert photo here, but we had our 90's girl shirts on. Oh my goodness, it was so fun. We had our hair crimped. We had the butterfly clips in our hair.
It was so great. It took us back, and I'm sorry for those NSYNCers. I did like NSYNC, but that's funny that I just brought that up because the rumor that I've been seeing is that there might be a possible Backstreet Boys and NSYNC tour, which I will literally sell my entire family. I'm kidding. I won't really sell them. Maybe just Jason. I want to keep the dogs and, baby Jay.
Yeah, he's important.
Jason, I love you, but it's okay. But if this happens, I don't know what I'm going to do.
It's exciting. I didn't believe it at first. I mean, it's still a rumor. Nothing's been confirmed. No. But I was like, no. Really? Maybe.
The Backstreet Boys are celebrating 30 years. God.
That makes me feel really old, Sam.
30 years.
Going back in this time capsule is showing our age.
Yeah, so that's like one huge thing. Like I remember just wanting to watch their videos on TRL. Oh my God, TRL.
Okay, how many of you remember TRL?
TRL was great.
What was it? Total Request Live? Mm-hmm. Yes, Total Request Live with Carson Daly.
When MTV used to actually like play music and be cool. I mean, and they started with some other cool shows, but I remember like just wanting to go home to watch TRL because I needed to watch the Backstreet Boys videos. And I mean, that was when Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, like, oh God, everybody started coming out. It was just great. I mean,
it was great. It was a great time back then.
The snacks. Oh, geez. I mean, Dunkaroos came back.
Yes.
Cream Savers came back for those of you that
oh my
had
gosh,
Cream Savers.
I forgot about Cream Savers.
I still don't like the orange one. I still like the strawberries.
The strawberry.
And cream.
Strawberries and cream are the best.
You know what I still miss, and they have not. They tried to bring them back. Were like the 3D Doritos that used to come in the can. Those were really good.
Those were good. They were weird, but they were good.
Yeah, they were great. I I thoroughly really enjoyed those things that could have died in the 90s. Furbies.
I had one, and those things are really creepy. I remember one night it just went off by itself, and it was just like, I was talking, and I was like, okay, I'm done with it. Like I was done with the Furby after that. But they were so popular, and I remember my grandma took me to get one, and they were expensive. Like back then it was like $50 for a Furby, I think it was. And that was
they were a lot of money.
Expensive back then.
We had to have a Furby, and then Tamagotchis have made a comeback, which is also cool. That's how, before you went to sex ed and health class and everything, you had to learn how to take care of your Tamagotchi, which you
to keep it alive,
and it would die because you wouldn't give it food and water.
You'd forget, and it would make that noise. Ta-ta-ta. Yeah, that was fun. That was interesting.
Movies like Jen and I were talking about. I mean, Clueless. Clueless is a huge staple.
Well, even to this day, it's just never gotten old. Like it.
Or when your crushes came about, like in Now and Then with Devon Sawa, when he came about.
Now and Then.
And do you remember you'd have to actually stop and rewind because there's a part where like he was in his towel. And
oh my gosh, everyone said that you could see something, and and then you'd have to rewind, but it was so hard back then because it was VHS tapes.
Yeah, and you'd have to pause it, and then you'd have to go forward, and then you'd be like, okay, I think I see it right there. I guess that's
but you really couldn't tell because then everything was pixelated. Like we didn't have 4K TVs and all of this craziness that we have now. We had tube TVs back then with VHS players.
So Devon Sawa. If you ever come across this, and if you're listening, it's where all of our crushes started back then.
Right? Yeah, but it's true. And then moving on to the VHS part of it, Blockbuster, on a Friday night or a Saturday night, you go to Blockbuster, you get a movie or a couple of movies, of course, VHSs, because that's what we had.
I miss Blockbuster. That's another thing that Blockbuster has kind of been coming out of the woodwork, and they've posted a couple of things about, possibly hinting at something coming about. And then last week when Netflix crashed for the Love is Blind reunion, for those of you that watch Love is Blind, I love that show. Blockbuster was one of the first ones to comment. And It was insane. It blew up. Yes.
Oh, I didn't even know about that.
They were literally you guys never had to worry about that with us. It was so funny, but it was so true.
Though. It's true.
And you would have to have your Blockbuster card, which remember when we were cleaning out the drawer, I found my mom still had bag of stuff that I had in the 90s, and my Blockbuster card was in there. I was like, oh my God, I don't need an ID anymore. I can just use my Blockbuster card.
Hey, can I see your ID? Bam, Blockbuster card. Ma'am, that's a Blockbuster card.
I would totally do it. I would be that person.
I know, we both probably would. That's the funny thing.
I mean, we should do it one day.
Pull out our Blockbuster.
But they're not going to ID us. I'm going to be like, please ID me.
So I can pull up my Blockbuster
Even though I got ID'd buying Baby J children's Benadryl last week in the self-checkout on top of it.
Oh, it was I was going to say, well, you should take that as a compliment, because I don't get carded for buying medication anymore. I used to, any medicine that had alcohol in it, I would get carded. I don't anymore. They don't ask. And I'm like, man, does this mean that I'm really starting to look old now that they don't even card me anymore?
They put the birthday in as 01/01/1980, and I'm like, no, that's not true. I showed you my ID. Would have been nice to have the Blockbuster card then.
Yeah, I would have. That would have really showed. Oh, God. Well, they try to make you older than what you are.
Yeah.
7 years older.
I was like, I'm just buying this for my kid. TGIF, Fridays, Boy Meets World.
Oh, I loved Boy Meets World.
Step by Step.
They have a podcast now.
Isn't it? Well, the spinoff show is Girl Meets World. What is it? It's called I don't know.
Oh, Pod Meets World.
Yeah, Pod Meets World. That's right.
It's called Pod Meets World. That one's good. That one's really good. But man, yes, nostalgia.
Oh God, man. I love it all.
I miss it. I really miss it. Sister Sister. I used to love Sister Sister.
Sister Sister still on a platform.
It is. I see it on We have apps now on the TV, so I don't have like regular cable, but it was on one of the apps. It plays.
Step by Step used to be on one too. I really like that show as well.
Step by Step was good. I'm trying to think, what other shows did we watch?
Oh my God, Jason and I took it real far back. We started watching Elf again, and we wanted.
Oh my goodness.
We wanted Jonathan to watch it, and he's like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "Just watch it." But the humor now I understand like why my dad laughed so hard at that show, because the humor is hilarious. And now that I understand,
I'm gonna have to go back and watch it because it's been so long I don't remember. But
I totally recommend.
There's things now that I watch as an adult, like from when we were kids, that I didn't get. Jokes and stuff I didn't get, and now they are. It's funnier as you're an adult because you understand. But
Are the Disney movies? Baby J just finally watched The Lion King.
oh, we just watched oh my gosh, we watched The Lion King like 2 weeks ago, and me and Andy, my husband, we're big movie quoters. We know tons of movies, and that is one thing that we've always had in common is quoting movies. So like sometimes we'll be out at the store or something, or we'll be out to dinner together, and we'll just like randomly together quote a movie, and we'll know exactly what each other's talking about, and people look at us like we're crazy. Like, what are they talking about? Well, it's a movie. You never seen it. So, to my point about the quoting of the movies, we love the one part in The Lion King where Timon and Pumbaa are singing, like they're trying to distract the hyenas.
Oh, yes.
Oh, and he's like, what do you want me to do? Dress up in drag and do the hula? Oh my gosh, we laughed so hard. I think we were laughing harder than the kids. I think the kids were laughing at us because we were laughing so hard at that part. But
that part is really funny. Jonathan was just sitting in front of the TV and he's like, and I'm like, yeah, it's a good movie. This is a classic.
It is. And I still cry when Mufasa dies.
I love that movie.
It's
the
great.
Shadowlands.
Mm-hmm.
I still use that quote to this day. We just used it.
Well, and the game. Did you ever play the game? Mm-hmm. Sega? Me and Andy were talking about that the other day. We were talking about.
We could go back to Mario and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, this will be fun to kind of continue.
Yes.
And then I'll see what I have, and I'll definitely bring my Blockbuster card for the next segment.
Absolutely. So make sure you tune in because we are going to continue this segment, which is on Wednesdays we wear pink, where we be kind and rewind, and we go back to the 90s and early 2000s and talk about all of the things when we were kids and all the nostalgia. It's going to be fun. All right. Well, of course, always have to end.
Got lipstick.
Woo, cheers. Well, thank you so much for chatting with us today, and we'll catch you next time. And remember, you're like really pretty.
And also remember, we'll never break your heart.
Bye, guys.
Bye.